Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and turns out, unlike what all the shenanigans and everything that happened last week, you're once again getting a double bill of me tonight. So tonight and tomorrow night it is. Now, I would also like to start by saying that I should have been in town at least 30 minutes ago, but for some reason I would really like to know the reason. For anyone who's ever travelled on the A187 heading southbound, so like you're sort of going in the direction like through town, you go across the Tyne Bridge. Well, you know how they've been advertising? They've been doing like road works for the last 6 months, and even in the last 6 months, the work has consisted of shutting off by the time you get down to Jesmond. They shut everything off to one lane. Well, what's happened now is that the powers that be, and it was like this last week as well, they finally decided to actually start doing some work on it, which meant I had to go via BBC Newcastle. Then I had to go down Dobson Street, go past Northumbria Uni, go a roundabout. Honestly, all in all, I left home at about just after 8 o'clock, and it's just gone 9. So I have spent almost an hour literally in doing nothing but travelling, and I must be honest, I am absolutely fuming at this. And I think if it's going to be like this tomorrow as well, then yeah, that's me. How you doing, brothers? Yeah, doing well. Have a good night so far?
YouTuber?
Yeah.
I knew you from somewhere.
Hope you see more of us, brother. Nice. See you there. So yeah, as I said before, why after 6 months they've only decided to start work is a really good point. I remember. Oh dear. Oh dear. Who's done that? UK's most published artist. Oh well. Answers on a postcode, please, as to who done that. Anyway, as I was saying before, I remember about 3 years ago. And some of you guys may be able to remember this, because I don't quite remember what the road is that sort of leads onto the RVI, and that was shut for 6 months. In those 6 months, I did not see a single person, workman or otherwise, do anything to that road. I didn't even think it was even broken. And why they said, again, I'll never understand why. I'll never understand the explanation or just what happened. It's just they decided to close the road. So in case you hear the whirring of ambulances and like the flashing of blue lights all night, it is literally because traffic is so badly gridlocked, even at 9 o'clock on a Friday night, that they have no alternative. So they are pretty much all in force. So not that I've ever had an issue with like traffic or anything like that before, but you know, it is what it is. It's what, again, just like when you come out here, it's one of the things you can't help. It's one of those things you have to like anticipate. But yeah, you know, technically the night started bad, but to be honest, it started with factors a little bit outside of our sphere of influence. Oh, am I in the middle of something? Cool. Don't worry, the camera's not on you guys. Yeah, you're perfectly fine. See what I mean? Well, like I said, you know, backlog traffic, and also just because some people just cannot drive. I mentioned this last week, that just because people have a driving license, it does not mean they can drive. All they've done is they've proven themselves competent enough to an instructor or to a coordinator that, guess what, they're able to drive. That literally proves nothing in my eyes. The actual experience comes when you're out there on your own. And I've been on the roads now for, if we're not counting all the times I've been in training, because progress sort of like halted for a bit because of the pandemic, I've technically been on the roads for about 7 years now, and I have never once got into an accident. But again, I will uphold that record right up until the moment when it does happen, because listen, it's just one of those things that can and cannot be helped and stuff like that. And just because it does, you know, I think everybody knows that. In the meantime, let's I'll show you guys the back of Grey Street, shall we? And there she is, ladies and gentlemen, Grace Street in all of its, well, glory. I know I think I mentioned it before about how just even on a Friday night they say that it's not nearly been as busy as I thought it was going to be, but you know what? Grace Street does look still pretty amazing actually from this angle. It certainly would have been better than if I was around back in the 1970s, because it was sort of about, I think it was either about that time or quite a lot before, that the entire city was sort of like covered in like coal dust, and they had to clean everything up. Anyway, so let's head down Big Market, and maybe I'll just discuss the agenda for tonight. And even though the nights are like getting brighter visibly, I must admit it still is pretty cold this time of the night. And like I said, not much you could do about it, so that's why I'm double wrapped up for tonight. And let's keep going, shall we? You see, well, actually, I'll tell you what. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like speakers and stuff like that around the corner. So, I tell you what, I'll give you guys a bit of an update as to what sort of happened last week, for what it's worth. So, extended family are still stuck in Dubai, and quite a lot more. They've heard a lot more explosions and stuff like that. I don't know exactly how much my extended family like knows like other people in the district, but I'm sure there's got to be a larger sort of growing concern, because again they haven't heard anything from the consulate, from the embassy, and as this week has gone on, and every single day you hear more about they want to. Mind you, once again, the light here absolutely bust. As you know, they talk about, you know, Tel Aviv want to be bombed off the face of the earth. Hezbollah, Beirut has also been dragged unceremoniously into this as well. They've been dragged into pretty much every conflict, whether they have something to be involved with or not. I'm just crossing the road now. At least we know that one's working, so that's just how it is. Anyway, so yeah, there's no news, and every single day that goes by, there are several things that come immediately into mind. The first, and probably the most unsurprising of them, is that, well, why, when, how, what, how, and when is this whole conflict exactly going to end? Because for all the world to see, it doesn't sound as if like this is, it's probably one of those things that's going to be ongoing for till probably the very end of time, as far as we're concerned. And even if the whole of the West Asia was completely wiped off the earth, I have absolutely I have honestly no idea like how on earth it's going to end. And to be honest, I like I said last time, I have absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to do, or how I'm even supposed to contemplate the thought about, well, what if things do go from bad to worse? And I know like, I can't sit here thinking to myself that everything's going to be okay, because guess what? It's not for me I'm concerned about, it's I'm concerned for my family, and that just seems more like a rational reasoning. And they've managed to reopen McDonald's again after giving it an even more existential makeover. I just saw somebody I recognised. Nice fellow anyway. Let's see, this should be funny. Call me that lucky. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, off we go. Let's see. Hanzo, nice to see you again. Yeah. Do you want to say something to the world, brother?
What?
Do you want to say something to the world, brother?
No.
Enjoy your night, brother. Well, isn't that a curious, fun start to the night? Two guys I haven't seen in like at least a year and a half, and it's just sort of one of those polite smile and wave, and that's it. Anyway, so yes, 9 o'clock Friday night, and we're here once again in Big Market. Well, the community and support hub is here, so let's take a look at that. And there she is. Nice enough people. I mean, I think I've thought of mentioning it before that sadly, you know, as much as you know, they couldn't even finish a whole stack of gum. But like I said before, the police, bless them, they always have a very unenviable, like a never unending and always exceedingly thankless task. Because look at that, community engagement and safety hub, keeping people safe and fighting crime. You know what, just as it should be, but I don't know how many times, you know, they get the thanks that they deserve. Because guess what? There are some police that do absolutely the most amazing work for the community, and you know what? It makes sense, because to protect and serve is what it should be all about. And sadly, it's just sort of the way of things. It would seem as if, you know what, you'd suspect every single police officer is somehow Wayne Couzens, except on a global scale. Now, you and I both know that that's just straight up not the case, but what can I say? You can't, it only takes one, and then all of a sudden, years and years of police work, years and years of hard work, dedication, because not every, you know, police officer was ever born, you know, with an evil, with the intention to cause more harm than good. But yeah, I stand by that, and sadly, it's just sort of, well, what can you do? It's just a way of the way of things. Now, you may remember this time last week when somebody had said they've been all over the world, and they finally come back to Newcastle, and they say that Big Market is quite literally dying to death. I don't really share that opinion, because insofar as I could understand about geography and rather just about how businesses are, if Newcastle was dying to death, then the only way, in my opinion, that Newcastle could ever die to death is if literally half the population just died in the very next night. The only way it could ever get worse is if literally half the people were gone, because at the end of the day, and I know this is something that nobody can deny, with there's all this talk about AI slop and whatnot, is that you still need people alive, you still need to keep the human race going. It's unfortunate that, however, that it is the way it is, but we've also got to think about more of a cultural thing. You know what? Not everybody has to go out on every Friday night, and it's I know a lot of people are suddenly concerned when it comes to the issue of crime and knife crime especially, but the problem is that when you don't go out, you leave the entire space sort of in the pockets of people who will take advantage of it. Because ever since the very beginning of history, you will get people who break the rules. Moses himself, when he carried the tablets all the way down, right, bro?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, where was I? Even when Moses carried down the tablets and he saw all the people that he was leading free from the Egyptians, smash them just because he saw people praying to an idol of a golden calf. Yeah, almost immediately. No, literally, Moses had left them alone. He got them all of them out of Egypt, and in the span of literally 5 seconds, Moses turns his back, and they immediately decide that a calf was a better representation for the worship of God than literally the guy who said he was going to come down as his disciple, or the guy who was going to lead them out. I know you can't make some things up, but then again, some people thought that when they were being in Exodus, you were spending 30 whole years traveling across the desert. And hi, brothers.
I thought you were filming that.
Nah, do you want to get on, brother?
Are you a YouTuber?
Aye.
No.
Enjoy your night anyway. Still, at least you offer, like I said, you offer the people choice. All right, you want to get on the cam? You want to get on, brother? You want to get on? Yeah, go on.
What are you doing on there?
Just doing a video about the nightlife around the northeast.
Hold it up higher. Hold it up higher. What's up, gang? We're here in Newcastle for a stag do. I'm from South London. I've been Joe. This has been your bitch. Camera. What's your name?
Jim.
Jim, this has been Jim with the epic night. Howie the tune.
Smithy.
I was actually Smithy.
You won't be able to use that because it's in that word, won't it?
Well, there's editing and stuff like that. Good luck with the edit. I'll disclaimer, they're from South London. They don't speak like us. Ah, well. Like I said, I know fine well, again, people understand the difference. And yeah, like I said, I think this all goes back down to the way I like do things, because I don't consider myself like the more traditional sort of auditor. Sometimes it's just about trying to talk about just things to say, and it's sort of pebble dashed, if you will, with just wild and exotic characters from throughout the night. And yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. Everybody's got a story to tell, and yeah, you know, that's fine. Everybody is incredibly unique, and there are some incredibly unique people who even come as far north as the northeast. Sounded a bit redundant, but it's sort of how it is. And as we mentioned before, you know what? It doesn't harm anybody. You know what? It's not a gun I'm carrying, and I know some people don't really seem to understand the difference. But yeah, that's. I thought I saw a load of people kicking off, but nah, it's all right. Maybe this is just the night beginning in earnest. Nice night, all things considered. I know it's like not especially warm, but then again, I'm like wrapped up and stuff like that, so there can't be too much of a concern. And part of me was also considering like trying to do tonight a little bit differently. Like we just sort of walked around the Tune, and we could go down like St. James Boulevard again. We could go up to the top of Northumberland Street. We might even travel in the direction of St. James's. Maybe we can sort of like take an exploration to St. James's. Maybe that's just sort of how it is. And yeah, that's maybe that's just how it is. Sort of how it is. And again, there's like no real remit apart from just try to have a bit of an exploration. So let's I'll tell you what, let's make our way over to Gate, and then maybe we'll go to see what's going on around St. James's. Maybe we can have a little bit of explore around there. Might not lead to anything, but we'll give it a go. Right, on our way to St. James's. So direction mostly is going to like go across Stowell Street and like round the back of like, we get across Rose and Crown, go through Stowell Street, make our way past Rosie's Bar, and we should be alright. At least it's mostly going to be quiet around this part of the city, so off we go. Mind you, after seeing all the traffic build up getting here, actually seeing a green light is like a red rag to a bull, that is. And I have no idea, like, just dumped in the middle of the street, just like that. Anyway, never mind about that, let's off we go again. Gate, behold, St. Jesus just beyond that. Let's go. And also, while we're here, I might possibly have the idea about maybe doing like a day log and stuff like that, but I think for that to work, I want to come to the city like really early in the morning, but we'll play it by ear. I think the reason why I want to do it like really early in the morning is because I've sort of showcased quite a bit of what the city looks like during the night time, but in the morning, and I mean like really early in the morning, it's the city takes on a different monster of its own. Thankfully, however, there's no chance of people kicking off like dead early in the morning. Maybe stragglers coming out of the clubs and stuff like that, but for the most part, you're gonna be all right. And stuff like that. All right. Right, yeah, let's just keep it rolling. So yeah, nice. Maybe it is because of the traffic is why you can't get people coming this part of the city. And, anyway, that's all how it is. I know, like when match day comes around, the traffic's going to be even more chocker, and if the A187 isn't repaired, like to any significant degree, it is going to take. Well, it's not going to be a problem coming back because you're coming northbound. The road is actually fully open, and there's no problems involved. Hey, hello again, brother. Yeah.
I spin the cam.
Yeah.
Show her.
Yeah.
She wants to. Yo, he said.
So just doing things a little bit different tonight. Just sort of more like just taking a walk around and see what happens.
Yeah.
Just,
yo, you see this guy? He loves being recorded. Come with me.
Do you want to get on, brother?
Yeah, he does.
Alright, never mind then.
He does want to. I promise.
No, I'll probably be on the. I'll probably be on the menu too by the end of the night if I did. Anyway, enjoy your night anyway. Might come back. I might have a night. Enjoy your night, brother. Might be how to go back. Cheers. So yeah, we just make our way back up the top of Style Street, and we get on. I suppose like maybe trying to have like a little nosy round. Hey, yeah, don't bother. Camera's not on you guys. Don't worry about that. It's just on me.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
Do you want to get on, brother?
Yeah, so.
Yeah, sure. Anything you want to say to the world, brother?
Away the turn.
See, that's that.
Away the turn.
Enjoy your night, brother. Right, anyway, so yes. Style Street, St. James's, take a walk. Part of me was almost saying we should go down to, Quayside again like we did last week. But I'm also thinking about like how steep the steps are. Maybe there's a different way getting back to like Gray's Monument and Dean Street from there. I'm sure again if I was driving, because I've never had an issue with going uphill and stuff like that. It's like one of those. I drive an automatic, you see, so shouldn't be an issue. Anyway, back of Style Street we go. Right, off we go. Yeah, because this is where the back of, I'm sure a 442 or some variant. Oh, Backpage, that's the one I'm looking about. And of course, up top you got Sandgate, Citygate. I mean, those hotels have been there for, at least since at least 2010, to my knowledge. I think. Okay, so you got your bar block up here. I had lunch at bar block once. It wasn't great, I'll be honest, but I do remember that, and it was only about 3 years ago, something like that. Anyway, off we go. So of course, Style Street, for the uninitiated, is the northeast answer to Chinatown, and it's also the back of the gate. So Newcastle Arms. Oh, bloody hell, the Newcastle Arms is just completely empty. And of course you got Rosie's Bar literally on the corner. And I'll show you another little interesting part of the city. So yeah, Chinatown, just down there. And allow me to show you just a quirky little part of the town, which is, I don't know what it says about the fact that it's on at the very beginning of Chinatown, but for the uninitiated, take a look at that, guys. The Tyneside Irish Centre. Now, what is significant about the Irish Centre? Well, I wish I knew. I've never been in there myself, but I'm pretty sure my sister had some sort of party in there to celebrate her engagement. But what can you do? It's just sort of it's always been a little bit a part of the city, so to speak. And of course, Imagine how much that costs just to make, or who even put the lights on the floor here to give it a bit of that menacing shine to it. Does marble have a shine? It's not even marble, it's granite. But oh well, let's move on. And of course, beginning of Chinatown just up there. And I suppose for what they're worth, if you didn't recognise what one of these is before, little phone box. Well, technically there's two of them right here. Now, unfortunately, the thing to note about these boxes is that they've become a little bit of a notorious hotspot for, well, for people who do the old DRUGS. That's special agriculture for those who can't spell. So, or some people do just sort of do it to take a piss. Hello. Anyway, let's continue. I'll tell you what. Let's make our way to St. James. Let's do that. And whilst we're here, ladies and gentlemen, there it is, St. James's Park. And quite unique amongst many footballing grounds here in the UK is that it's almost slap bang in the middle of the city. Almost, if you like, the citadel for everything that people have to hope onto. Football, and even more football. And of course, even the views like for the hotels, and of course the stack is pretty sweet. Speaking of pretty sweet, the famous Strawberry Pub on the corner. Now, this has been here for a good 100 years at least, and it's just one of those places you just can't afford to shift for love nor money. Also, by the way, for what it's worth, is that there was something on the news earlier today on BBC Newcastle that talks a lot about prices for tickets going up exponentially for the next season, 15% higher, and even the administrations for what I'm going to call the extra attention crowd. You know what I mean, disabled access. Apparently the permits for like those are being slashed in half. So in absolute every sense of the word, it's more expensive. And like with a lot of things that just sort of happen from time to time, I'm having a really, really hard time trying to work out, if you will, as to whether or not you're actually getting value for money. Because listen, I love the Strawberry, I love Newcastle United, and even though I haven't been to the footy for a good 10 years at this point, but I will still absolutely watch the footy because, I will absolutely still watch the footy for love or money, for love. But there is absolutely no way you could justify those sort of prices, because some of the prices for just things that go on nowadays are quite frankly outrageous, which is always yeah, more ambulances. Like I said, that's because of these well, what can I say, stupid roadworks. Literally, the ambulances, they have to literally go through an entire maze. If this was, I'm sure even London doesn't even have it this bad. But what can I say? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, that's right. The continuing issues I've had with inflation. And usually when this does happen, there is always this secret belief for quite a lot of people that, guess what? If you can't earn a decent buck, and that everybody else in one way or another makes their money easy and through less legitimate reasons, it opens up the revenue to what feels like a more desirable access to easy money, if you will. It's easy to see why gambling has like such that impact on people, because on the surface it sounds like easy money. In fact, it sounds like the easiest money you've probably ever made in your life. I mean, when you do a small multiplication sum and you see the sort of people that put on stakes and hello, when you see the sort of people who put money on blackjack and roulette and free card poker, and they make it look so easy. which unfortunately, even from my observations, it's an enormous underestimate to what the reality of gambling really looks like. Because the reality of gambling is that you may literally put 10 quid on for free card poker and you might win about 5 quid of it back. There are some people who get lucky, but to be honest, I think it's like with everything that's skill, like luck based. There will come a time when a person's luck does undeniably run out. And actually, well, I suppose while we're here, let's show you a little bit of Leazes Park and stuff like that, the roads. I mean, there's this fantastic bit of art I gotta show you guys. That's a terrific shot if ever there was one. Almost as terrific as Dan Burns' enormous head. And actually, speaking of Dan Burns' enormous head, it's almost been a whole year now since we won. I know I can hardly believe it myself, but yeah, a whole year has nearly came and went, and Dan Burn literally scored. Well, what can I say? He's still, in my opinion, scored the goal of his career. Because absolutely, scoring at Wembley for quite a lot of people has got to be a career highlight. In fact, to be honest, speaking of Dan Burn, sometimes it might never happen again in your career. You got to take it where it stands. And whilst we're here, let's I'll tell you what, let's flip the camera the other way, because we're sort of coming a little bit past what used to be Eldon Gardens. I have no idea whether or not they're even going to still refer to it as that, but I've been proven wrong many, many times before. Right, so confused camera switching for one side. Well, that's certainly the walkway across to Eldon Gardens, and whilst access to the gardens is... Come on! Do you want to get on? Come on! Yeah. Is this the Benwell Massive?
Is it video?
Yeah.
Hi guys!
Hi guys.
Hi! Is it going on TikTok?
TikTok, YouTube, Raging Reality 1.
Okay. Can you send it?
Oh, well, Raging Reality TT is for TikTok. You'll get the idea.
Can you send it later? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can't be bothered to take I'm in the back of that and I look like a freak. Can you type it? Can you do it?
Yeah, sure, I'll tell you what, I'll put this down for a second. I'll go. Right, anyway, yeah, so they just want to know what it was all about and if I did TikTok and stuff like that. As you do. And we sort of come under the pass, if you will, for Eldon Square, and like I said, it is what it is. It's I'm pretty sure this used to be called like the Hotspur or something like that. I mean, I suppose maybe Magpie is better for like consistency, and it might have been a bit confusing as to why you would call it like the Hotspur or something like that, but then again, thank goodness I'm not in charge of, branding or naming and stuff like that. So yeah, let's keep it going, and I think we'll resume the action. We'll go past Haymarket and down like Northumberland Street. I think that'll do it. Right. Okay. So it's a curious little place anyway, coming out of Haymarket, because to be honest, my understanding is that because it's technically like a public pathway anyway, because you just sort of, it's like round the back of John Lewis. You wanna get on that, brother?
Basically, right?
How you doing, brother?
See our little mister, you've been granted your parole, so sign the dotted line and collect the first week's door. We don't care where you go if you walk the street. We don't care if you've got 2 black eyes or food to eat. You've been inside for 10 years, now we'll give you 4 square meals. Still, it will not be long till you know how desperation feels. To spend that first week's pittance on that first week's costly rent, to trip down the old job centre for the interview you get sent. But we're sorry, little mister, you've had a life of crime. Oh! Ex-offenders such as myself, we just don't really have time. So does resettlement really work? Is it one sad joke? As all my hopes and expectations floated away like smoke, and all that stress and shit made him want to shout like we broke the inside out. Oh!
Nice one, brother.
See you later.
Hope you do well, brother.
All the best.
All the best indeed. Yep, like I said before, you never know what you're going to find in this city. And you know what? You know, I can't blame him. You know what? He's got far more talent in his small lobe than, you know, I've literally got in my entire body. Yeah, honestly, I haven't got it. What else am I supposed to say? And you know what? No, it is just how it is. Anyway, we come out of, well, basically we make our way to the top of Northumberland Street, and actually, can I just say, while we're here, I absolutely love Firestone artisan pizzas. Let me see if I could just get like the sign on there. One of the absolute best like artisan pizzas you're probably ever going to find here in the Northeast, and they're not the size and the value of these things is absolutely unbelievable for words. And they're playing Michael Jackson inside. Great taste. I mean, you know what? So I know a lot of people are very, very divided when it comes to Michael Jackson, but you know what? In my eyes, he is still the king of pop. And yeah, king. I think that's just how it's going to be. So let's make our way down to Northumberland Street and to my never-ending topic of complacency, the fact that it's still not finished. So yeah, like I said, for some, it's like it's just never ever finished. And look at this. Restriction zone, strictly authorized personnel only. Unfortunately, they're restricted as well. Feels that way because again, this just goes on forever. Although, to be fair, it looks halfway finished, which means and that, what on earth is that? It smells like it smells like a gas leak around here. It's just everything. Honestly, it went from a gas leak and now it just literally stinks of. It's like you see those boards out there? It's like they just use it as a latrine and they just sort of put boards over it to disguise the smell. It absolutely. I'm glad I've don't come around here because honestly, and well, at least they preserved the tree. I'm glad for that. Maybe in about a month's time it'll start to bloom and bud and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know what to say apart from that. And we move from one island of restriction to straight up another one. Like I said, these things have been here since I started working in the city, and I can't think for 1 second. Yeah, and whilst we're also at this point, and sort of like you've got College Street, which sort of goes all the way up there, and it's also like a popular hangout at the corner of Primark for a lot of delivery drivers and stuff like that. I know a lot of people have various nicknames to describe them, but I don't do that. Actually, I'll tell you what. So the reason why I don't give them nicknames and stuff like that is because, one, I know again whatever their status may be, I think it just comes off as a bit rude and a little bit abrupt, if you will, to start giving it the oi polloi and start thinking that you can classify them as inferior just because of the decisions they've made in life. I just don't do that sort of thing because it's even if, and this is a big if, even if I was in any way superior to them, it's always a big mistake to think that you can flaunt it in front of other people like a lot of other people do. And don't say you don't, because guess what, we're all guilty of it. But like I said, that's just sort of how it is. Not everybody agrees with this what I can only describe as this approach, but at the same time it's just sort of what I've chosen, and guess what, it is my choice to make and nobody else's. So let's continue on this route. At least the smell almost immediately abrupts, and as I was saying, at least the smell, you can notice by the time you get past Sainsbury's on Northumberland Street, the smell very, very abruptly stops. I'm glad for that. I mean, at least maybe down here at one point it stunk up the joint, but we continue again. It's kind of funny that we have kind of just sort of finished exactly where we started, but we're not quite finished yet with the night. There's still an awful lot to explore, and it is how it is. So let's keep going. Right, okay, off we go again. So the idea for this one is that we'll get our way down to, well, how can I say, Big Market. Then we'll sort of make our way down to, like, you know, like some of the clubs and stuff like that. Just to bit of an explore. I mean, we've been out for almost an hour, and it certainly gives us the opportunity to just sort of, well, because things change very quickly, and it doesn't take much for things to change, but what can I say? It's just, like I said, the nature of just how we do things around here. Mind you, the one thing I have noticed, and I don't know if it's just the police have moved them on, is that I haven't seen any of those ladies trying to sell wreaths and hats and flip-flops and just other junk that people don't need, want, or even ask for. And I'm not even putting that down to the fact that they know I'm about. But like I said, it's always it's quite a good ploy, because even when I do have like the camera away, when I'm just trying to like conserve the energy of the battery, and I try not to, like, you know, tread on anyone here and there. Like I said, we just sort of get on with it, and across we go. And back to the top of Monument we go. So I'll see you hopefully back at Big Market. Anyway, I will just like to point out is that you can probably see out of the left corner of your eye is that that ambulance has been there since literally I rocked up, and I have no idea why it's there so long, and usually the ambulances wouldn't be there unless there was anything exponentially serious. So I hope everything's all right, but back down to Big Market we go. And whoops, here we go. Oh, evening. And of course, the Greg's delivery van stands right at the very end of the street, as you do, and may want to possibly get out of the way. Oh, no, it's turning. Let's see, can it do it in one? And is that bike going to take him on the inside? No account whatsoever? No. The van beat him to it. Sort of. No, never mind. There we go. Anyway, off we continue again. So thoughts about tonight so far? Quiet, but just because things are quiet does not necessarily mean they're bad. It's a very different sort of crowd you come across here usually when it's quiet. And there's no problem with that whatsoever. It's just, like I said, you can't control the sort of things. You can't control these things. It's just, you take your chance and see what happens. And I'm trying not to stand in the massive puddle of curry that somebody's just sort of spilt all over the joint. Anyway, Big Market we come. Looks like, again, things are just starting to pick up. More people around, and the old bill is knocking around, and we'll try our best not to like get in their way. And yeah, Big Market is only like a stone's throw away, so actually there's a lot of the old bill, and they're just sort of talking and stuff like that. That's the other thing I thought to mention, is that we don't really like film, you know, people getting arrested, because I can't tell if it's just because I've never been out that we don't see that happening, and I don't know. It's just one thing I never really did, and I can honestly I can live with that, and it's not exactly a prerequisite when you do these sort of things, because if it doesn't happen, I can't exactly film something that doesn't happen, because of course that's just a being devoid of reality one way or another, and that's not really what these sorts of things are about. I know some people think that's what these sort of auditing videos are about, but no, it's not really like that at all. or at least I hope what I've managed to do doesn't give off that sort of impression. It's tough, and I can't say it's gonna like get any easier anytime soon. But I also think, again, it's the company you keep, the people you run into, and just to see what goes ahead. Because honestly, the majority of people, again, in the city are absolutely, you know, salt of the earth, and you get that sort of thing just about everywhere you go. But that doesn't mean to say everybody is like that, and some people, sadly, and I hope I'm not proving that case tonight, is that some people do walk around thinking that the law really is whatever they choose to make it, and I have a very hard time explaining to people who are that unreasonable that you don't have that authority or that power or that conviction. You simply don't, because I know they think they do, but guess what, they don't, because the law is not extraditable. The law is the law, and it is what it is. I know people thinking that it's not like that, but what can I say? These are the sorts of people you encounter, and again, it's not always like that, but I don't know, it just depends, and if you get lucky, you get lucky, and if you don't, you don't. I won't lose any sleep over it, but you know, you see what it's about and you crack on. And for the most part, people do crack on. It's just not always. You see, they think that I can't hear them saying that. Is he doing TikTok? Is he famous? I know people think that they don't seem to think I can hear them, but what can I say? It's not really that thing. And I'll tell you what, let's head down the clubs and stuff like that. Let's maybe like Revolutions and stuff like that. Maybe we'll see what gangs on there. I wasn't really like planning on staying out too late, but it's just how it is. Right. Anyway, off we go. So yeah, mostly just all like one route back here. We'll come back to Big Market, have a little bit more words, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, off we go. Safely across the street, and it's just gone green, as you do. Anyway, off we go. Yeah, it's. I think it is slowly picking up at this point anyway in the city. All right. I'll just see if I can just squeeze past. And off we go. Nice night, all things considered, and that's just fine by us. Again, not that we've encountered any like problems or anything like that. I don't even know what time like the NX is even supposed to be open on the night. Might be soonish, might be later on. Oh, by the way, take a look at this, guys. Once, but not anymore. So I can't tell. It's just, yeah, it seems mostly quiet yet again, but you know, things do quickly pick up, even on a Chrissy Friday night. I wonder if it's. I wonder genuinely if it's because the traffic is why people, if things aren't picking up. Because take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this. Footpath, all of it closed. For some reason, you know, these take up every part of the city, and we'll let this guy do a massive U-turn, and we'll let him down. And no, he's just blocked the street. Fantastic. This is the price I get for trying to be nice to people. Unbelievable. No matter. Maybe when we hang out outside the clubs, things will be better. We'll just have a nice chat and see what goes on. It may not be like that, but gotta hope for the best. Okay, so only about a few hundred yards away from the club, and I always take it a point of mention just to catch a little part of the city here, and onwards to Revolutions we go. And yeah, I think I mentioned before, I'm not entirely like dependent on staying out for too long, because I think I'm getting the impression that Friday nights, unless something like maybe I think it's maybe more in the summertime, it's like when it's gonna like pick up. And even though we're in the first week of March, it's a little bit far away from summer. It's not even the end of winter. I know it's warmer and stuff like that, but some people are absolutely defiant in their approach to partying, no matter what the cost. Hello. What can I say? It's just the way of things. Oh, I see. Hello. At least the Irish. I think it's bowls as well. I think that's what they call it. Seems in full swing. So let's get on that. Hello. Oh, look at this. Oh, that looks right suave. That does. That's that. Can't be like a staff night out or anything like that. Or maybe not. Maybe I've been proven wrong. Maybe they all got kicked out because they could prove their age, because they must have associated wearing a tie as like symbol of age or stuff like that. Oh wait, hang on, I forgot to mention. There we go. Let me get this on view, brothers, because I gotta do it. My favourite place in the whole northeast, the Social Club. What's social about it? I have absolutely no idea. And I don't think anybody else has any idea either. Otherwise, it would have been ram-packed. But to be honest, again, I do not know what goes on in there. And, well, to be honest, maybe it's better if people, maybe they didn't want people to know what goes on.
Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. Oh well, here's how I was moving on. Right, at least that's the only benefit of the Irish place around here, is that actually it looks like a place you might actually want to come into, and it isn't just all black. Hey, hi brother. I do like nightlife round in the northeast.
Get the camera, get the camera.
You want to get on, brother?
Woohoo!
Nah, alright, never mind.
What are you telling for?
I just do like nightlife here in the northeast around the weekend and stuff like that.
Why are you YouTube channel?
Yeah, just
YouTube channel.
Raging Reality 1.
Pervert 2.
Yeah, of course, sorry about that.
What are you doing?
No,
They... Nah, I didn't do that. That's just, see, that is. Hello.
I want to try.
No, so have a nice night. Nah, I figured that'll be alright. See you there. Enjoy your night anyway, brothers. Oh well, here's how it is. Like I said, you know, I thought they were going to be like, you know, nah, you can't say anything like that. No, I can't. No, I think there was sound as a pound, and oh well, really. I mean, again, what's the point of like trying to kick off in the middle street where you know there's busies all over the gaff? Also because they know fine well it'll be on camera and stuff like that, so seems a bit like a self-defeating prophecy and stuff like that. Anyway, let's get about. Sorry about that. Right, off we go again. So, flares, subways. Actually, I don't know if that's like a 24-hour subway or not. Yeah, I think it's I think it's going to quieten and do. So I think, yeah, I think what we're going to do is we'll make our way back up Big Market, and we'll. I think we can sort of mostly turn it in for the night, because yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to do. We'll turn it in for the night. It seems like a bit of a quiet night, so let's see what goes on. It kind of seems mental, actually. You go from like Grote Market, and then all of a sudden you make your way at the back here. Hello. Whoop. Anyway, let's make our way back up. Anyway, back up we go, and You know, by the way, for what it's worth, all those the buildings immediately to the left, they used to be like evening papers, and I can still remember such a thing as evening papers. For what that's worth, I don't remember when they like stopped doing them, but what can they say? That's just sort of the sign of the times, really. And it would be quite interesting to know exactly what would like happen in another 100 years, long after, you know, I and you are dead. Would there be like would they even make cameras these size anymore? Would filming in public be completely banned? Would every building that's not occupied be converted into the most bog standard of hostels you can imagine? Will the population be anywhere near as high as people expect? Will there be no such thing as, you know, free schooling or anything like that? Is the world doomed, so to speak? Mind you, with that being said, I think I mentioned it before, the only way that like a city, in my opinion, could ever die if literally... Hey brother, enjoy your night? Yeah, don't say anything to the world, brother. Relax. Enjoy your night, brother. So yeah, as I was saying before, the only way, like, unless some completely unbeknown disaster happened, such as the world immediately came to an end. Well, not the world coming to an end, but literally half the population just sort of in the northeast just died immediately overnight. You'd sort of wonder, like, some sort of scenario. And to be fair, it's not really one of those things you could sort of predict, because who on earth would want half the people to die? Because it just doesn't really make any sense. Hello. Either way, I could worry about the end of the world another day. But of course, it's never thought about like standing outside Pop World or anything like that. But then again, maybe it's just not one of those nights to have a word. But like I said, you know what? You never know what's going to happen. So I'll tell you what. That's and I can't believe they moved Munchies like all the way down here. It seems like a complete waste of time, because Munchies, just before you get onto King's Road, just doesn't seem to make any sense. And hello.
Hello.
Night going well?
Amazing. How's your night going, baby?
Oh, it's I think it's sort of like coming to an end of it. I think Friday is sort of being a bit of a dud as far as nights go. And hello.
What are we doing here?
I just sort of like document a little bit of the nightlife, and you meet like some of the most fantastic people in the night.
Like me?
Yeah, absolutely. and your friends,
yeah. Anything goes.
It certainly will. And would it be alright if you just took your hands off, please? Sorry, I just had a very, very bad experience about 2 weeks ago. I don't really want to talk about it.
What happened?
A guy touched my arse literally without asking, and then a woman tried to pull my head into her chest without asking either.
I won't do that to you, I promise.
So is it good night?
I'm used to it.
Right, okay.
I get it all the time too.
No, well, I still think it's wrong.
What's your
either way.
name?
Jimmy
Nice
Frank.
to meet you, Jim.
Nice.
Would you do a couple of interview questions? Just ask some questions.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it won't take too long. I'll tell you what, I'll just get this off and
Thank
see how it goes. So, yeah, I feel like, I mean, I don't even know what time it is. I'm pretty sure it's like, let me take a quick look actually for what it's worth. Phone's upside down. Quarter past 10 at night, and yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna sort of like turn it in for the night. I mean, I've been only on for about like an hour and such. Yeah, but like I said before, I think that Friday nights are a little bit of a dud, if I'm being honest. And I don't think staying out any later is just sort of gonna advance that, change that. And, well, maybe this is just a sign of the times, guys. And, well, loads of people have phones, you know what I mean? It's the way of the world. Keep up with the times, sunshine. So, yeah, whether or not the nightlife, at least on a Friday, is dying a death, I don't really think so. Oh, and for what it's worth, I have no idea who any of those people were. I'm not going to immediately say I was like propositioned or anything like that. Nah, definitely not. because again, I have no. Again, is this just a thing people with? Yeah, I'm sure she was. I'm going to put it down to she was being rhetorical with some of the questions. I have no idea. Maybe it's like fake boyfriend or something like that, or fake kidnapping, or fake extortion, or selling them off to China for profits, or whatever it is people do nowadays. Some people are absolutely wild in their approach for content. Thankfully, or at the very least, not at the moment, I'm definitely not like that. But it's just sort of, again, how it is. You can't control these things. You can't, you know, have a say in, you know, what goes on. Sometimes coming out here is literally just as a way of seeing what goes on, and you roll with it. And thankfully, once again, we managed to. It was a good night, all things considered. We try to do things a little bit differently by just sort of walking around the place. Sometimes showing you guys things you normally wouldn't see. But yeah, Friday nights are a little bit of a. I wish they were better. That's all I'm going to say about that. I wish Friday nights were a little bit busier. But I know it's sort of like it'll be busier tomorrow because, you know, tomorrow's match day, that sort of thing. But if it isn't, well, there's your answer. So I think we'll be drawing things very neatly to a close. But I suppose maybe we could take a little bit of a stroll up to Northumberland Street once again and sort of end this video again where it all started. So yes, Grey Street. Do you really think 50 years ago people wouldn't be able to make out the limestone or whatever they used to build the street? Maybe they really did name it Grey Street because of, you know, coal dust and stuff like that. Is coal dust grey? No, of course coal dust is like black, that sort of thing. As opposed to what goes on right now, which smells almost green. In the meantime, and I suppose for what it is, one last time, we'll walk up Northumberland Street because, well, why not? It's hard to say, but it's just I felt like I had the old butterflies in my stomach once again before heading out, and I have no idea whether it was just because I was nervous that, you know, it was going to kick off and I was going to be caught up in it somehow, or whether or not, you know, it's just a nice calm night. And well, I'd say it's more cool, really, more than anything. It's been a cool night. Not that really makes any difference. The only thing I'm concerned about at this point in time is making sure I get home safe and one piece. It just seems a bit annoying that the journey to here took as long as it did, but oh well, what can you do? And yeah, like I said, the journey back is going to be much smoother by far. At least being out for like what, maximum 90 minutes means this will be incredibly easy to put together. So I'll leave you guys with that. So take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Apart from, you know, I'll do it this way because it's just the done thing. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you.